guys, Jack and Pete here. We're both coaches here at V90. We run our fundamentals class, and part of that is we look at the deadlift. Okay, so Jack here is going to do a few demonstrations, and I'm going to talk it through, and this is how we teach the deadlift. So he's going to take it down. So we start with no weight, and we're going to start by looking at the hip hinge, okay? So breaking our hips, engaging our hamstrings and our glutes. So from this position, Jack's hands are just slightly outside his thighs. Okay, he's going to grip the dowel nice and hard. He's just going to take a little bend in his knees so they're not on lock. Okay, and then from this position, we're looking to hinge at the hip. So he's going to push his bum back, sliding the dial down his thighs to about mid-knee. From here, we're looking at a nice, flat, neutral spine. Okay, and then from this, he's going to stand tall and squeeze the bum at the hips. He's not going to overextend at his hip and lean through and his shoulders go back. He's going to stay nice and stacked position, keeping the abs on tight. Okay, just do 3 reps for me, Jack. Good. So that weight's pushing back into the heel as well, so as weight transfers back, stretching the hamstrings, putting a little bit of load in there. Okay, so now we've had a look at the hip hinge. Okay, we're now going to take it a little bit further and get into a deadlift position. So Jack's going to perform his hip hinge, breaking his hips back. As you can see, his legs are still quite straight. His shoulders are still just above his hips, but now he's going to bend his knees, keeping the back at the same alignment as the floor. The bar is now ended up at mid-shin. When we come to deadlift, this is how we will receive a bar and take the bar off the floor. From this position, I'm just going to ask Jack to deadlift, which he's going to stand tall and squeeze his bum, finishing the same position as his hips. From here, he's going to break his hips again and go back into that reset position, so back down, bending his knees to that mid-shin. When he drives up, he's driving his weight into the floor, and he's going to push the floor away, straighten his legs, and then his hips come through. So he breaks his hips, bends his knees. From there, he then drives the floor away, straightening, and hips come through. Just do a couple of reps for me, Jack. So this is progressing on from the hip hinge. So now we've looked at the hip hinge and the deadlift with no weight, what we class as a top-down approach. Now, when we deadlift, we're lifting a heavy object off the floor. So with our fundamentals, we introduce a kettlebell deadlift to introduce a little bit of load into the way we do that. To get into position, we still focus on our breaking our hips, followed by that little knee bend to get into the right position as if we had a weight in our hand. So Jack's just going to break his hips, into that hip hinge, bend his knees, and now he's at the same position with his hands around mid-shin, okay, grasping the kettlebell. Nice flat back, okay, his hips are between his shoulders and his knees. From here, again, he's going to push the floor away and stand tall. There. Just get back, he just pushes his hips back, and then stands tall, pushing the floor away. Just do a couple of reps. Okay. If you can see, his hips transfer back weight first, keeping that weight in his heel. That engages your hamstrings and your glutes. Good. And just put it down, Jack. That's spot on. So that's introducing a little bit of load. So we've looked at the hip hinge and the deadlift with the dowel. We've added a little bit of load with the kettlebell. At this point, if we've noticed any issues with mobility, okay, or getting into positions, we may start looking to raise the bar up higher so you find a better, more comfortable and safe position to lift. Luckily, Jack is quite happy going from the floor, so we're going to have a little look at what a deadlift looks like from the floor. Breaking his hips again, pushing his bum back, bending his knees. This time his grip again is outside his knees, and he's just going to force the floor away. Again. Lovely control, little cushion onto the floor. We're just going to repeat that a couple of times. Good. You can just put it down, Jack. And just remember, shift those weight back into your heels and pushing those hips back and slowly lower that bar through there. Have a good one, guys. I hope this helps.